Please take the link for this evening's class. It's on YouTube, and it will also be on our Facebook chat page as well. For this evening's broadcast is going live globally. All right, all things being set up, let's ask
You see
Her
the
Excellent.
earrings, the women.
We're gonna ask this evening. We're gonna ask His Excellency Bishop Wesley. Um, we're gonna ask His Excellency Bishop Wesley if this evening. I think I missed him. Okay, Bishop Wesley is not. He's dropped off. Can Doreen? Can you open this evening's class for us, please, Doreen? Your Excellency Doreen, could you open this evening's class?
Uh, Hello, good evening to you. I wonder if you're hearing me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
I cannot hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, but we can hear you.
I'm not hearing you.
But we can hear you.
Yes, good evening to you all. Let's humble ourselves and pray. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you this evening. We commit the class of Steel into your hands. We commit our Bishop, Dr. Michael Steele, who is going to speak to us. We know that, Lord, you've prepared a wonderful message for us today. And our guest speaker, Anita Davis, who is going to speak to us also. We believe that, oh God, that whatever is going to be spoken to us, we're going to take it to heart and put it into practice and improve on what we are learning from the class of Steel. Father, I thank you for each and every person that is here today, oh God. Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you, oh God, that we're able to come to the class of Steel every day, every time it is available to us. We don't take it for granted. It's by your grace that we're able to come before you, oh God, and relate with each other. We give you praise and glory in Jesus' mighty name. We pray, amen.
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 Thank you so very much, Doreen, this evening. I want to, Your Excellency, Bishop Wesley, I was looking for you prior, and you slightly dropped off from us. So I took the opportunity to pass on to Her Excellency Doreen for our opening prayers. But again, please acknowledge the presence of our chaplain in his person, the person of His Excellency Bishop Wesley Johnson, for the class of Steel. I want to welcome you this evening, and Her Excellency Jenny Trehane out of Barbados. You're very welcome into the class. Olukoya, Fabian, my son. I want to say something. Dr. DeFoe is going to speak to us this evening, and it's important. My wife has decided that she thinks this whole week should be for the women, dedicated to the women, and I agree. I think the whole month should be dedicated to the women, because the input that they make into our lives is so important and critical. But before I do that, I have two things that I want to kind of get out of the way this evening that are quite important, and I don't want to miss them. You know, I have this thing about perfection and being on time and everything. And how many of you know that the thing that you perfect the most, or you want to have greatest, is the thing that is always challenged the most? You have to try the hardest, whatever it is, that you want to perfect or you want to manifest as your greatest attribute, your greatest characteristic, I want to challenge you to realize something. It's going to be the hardest tested. It's going to be the hardest pressed. It's going to be the hardest that runs through the furnace. And the reason why that is because it is so much what you want to do that, like Paul said, oh, wretched man am I. The things I want to do, I don't do. The things I don't want to do, I do. And you come to the understanding that those things you want to do the most will be the hardest. I can assure you that a lot of you who want to be in the class of steel can find this so difficult and challenging. Why? Because you want to do it. That's the reason. Bear that in mind when you're thinking about something that you want to accomplish that is very difficult to do. Now, we have a young man that is driving in a vehicle because I am his mentor and I commanded him to be in class this evening because he's one of my sons and he's one of the most powerful young men you will get to know. I'm just going to briefly introduce him, that he can log off if he needs to before he disappears through a tunnel or something and we're not able to receive him passing through the busy roads of Canada. I want to introduce my son, and not just my son, who is also one of the key persons in the class of steel that has finally gotten to the table and have admitted, okay, I'm going to get back to class. And his name is none other than His Excellency Fabian Burgess Yearwood. And His Excellency Fabian Yearwood is based in Canada, and he will be joining me soon in the UK as well. So please allow me this brief moment to introduce my son to you and let him come and greet you if he's able. Fabian, I hope you can touch the unmute without doing anything dangerous to yourself.
Yes, I can indeed. Pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone is having a great evening and that you can hear me clearly. Apologies for actually having to be driving while in this meeting, but I will be in the meeting and I don't foresee any tunnels on my way home. There's lots of traffic, so hopefully by the time I get home, the meeting will still be in process and I get straight from my mobile to the actual computer. I'm not able to see everyone who's present in the meeting. I can see Michael and a few other faces because of the device, but I just want to say I am honored to be here. I've watched one or two of the presentations, particularly from the past, from the School of Steel, and I had actually attended 2 meetings, but due to school, I had to slip out early. It's an honor to be here, and I hope that since I am commissioned and obligated to be here on a weekly basis, that you'll be seeing more of me and less of my driving.
Come on, let's celebrate him this evening. Fabian Burgess is one of my students of almost over 10 years. He's one of my students, and I have been mentoring him, and he's now going through his law school and other things like that. And he's ready for the next stage of mentoring because we are going to be propelling him to the nations of the world, throughout Africa, throughout Saudi Arabia, throughout the Americas. And he is going to be doing some great things in the class of steel as well. So he's a face that you'll become very familiar with as we go by. And he will tell you his testimony, how he got to where he is and the journey that we have been on, because it's been a journey. Yes, Fabian, you're going to tell them your journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Without any further ado, I want to bring on board Her Excellency Dr. Anita Davis-DeFoe, who will be your speaker for this evening's class. Your Excellency Dr. Anita Davis-DeFoe, you are very welcome to the class this evening. Come on, let's welcome Dr. DeFoe this evening. You're welcome, man.
Greetings, Your Excellency, Dr. Steele, and to everybody in the class of Steele this evening or afternoon or whatever time it may be, wherever you may be in the globe. It is an honor and privilege to be with you this evening in the class, and I celebrate all of you and honor you for taking the time to come into this learning circle and for us to gather and to share information, share this time of really camaraderie. My mentor, Dr. John Maxwell, often says, when you try to do something by yourself, that you really seriously just taking a walk. But to really accomplish something of significance, you must do it with others. You must have a team. You must have partners. That is when you really achieve the impact that you want. And so as we gather here this evening, I celebrate the fact that we are here in partnership to learn and to share. So I wanted to ask each of you to contemplate this question that I'm going to ask. And it's a very simple question, and it is this: what do you see? I'll say it again. What do you see? So many times, our ability to lead ourselves and to lead others is really limited by what we see. And there's many times you may have family, friends, sometimes it's even us ourselves, that even on a sunny day, we see that one cloud in the sky. And someone would say, oh, it's a beautiful day. What a beautiful day it is. And depending on what we see and how we see and the vision, we'll say, yeah, it's a sunny day, but look over there. I see that cloud. It's probably going to rain. It's not that beautiful of a day because I see that one cloud. And I ask you to ponder that question because our ability to lead and serve is really impacted about our vision and what we see and what we embrace and our mindset. Now, all of us have, for the last 15 to 16 months, in some form or fashion, we have been impacted by the pandemic. And the pandemic has caused health crisis, economic crisis, employment crisis, but moreover, it has really caused mindset crisis. And so what, as leaders, we have to ask ourselves and contemplate, what do I see? How am I going to move forward? How am I going to inspire and encourage others? But moreover, how am I going to inspire myself? You see, our ability as leaders, whether you're in the faith community, whether you're in corporation, it always goes by mindset. And it goes by your level of competency and your level of efficiency. And all of us have to recognize and remember a certificate on the wall does not mean that we are really certified or that we have completed all the learning. Learning doesn't stop. And as leaders, we have to be open to ongoing coaching. We have to be open to ongoing learning. More than ever before, continuous learning is a must. And many times we get caught up as leaders in what I call, and which in the research is called position power. Just because you have a box on an organizational chart and you're at the top, that doesn't always mean that you're the most competent, that you're the most efficient, that you can lead teams. It's more and more about continuous learning, continuous growing as a leader, and listening. One of the greatest tools a leader can utilize is listening. You often learn so much from those that you have been designated to lead, because many times they can see things that you as the leader may not see because they're on the front line. And so part of being an impactful leader is being open to learn from all the teachers that come into your lives. They may not appear the way that you thought they were going to. They may not sound like you thought they were going to sound, but indeed they have a lesson for you to learn. So as we're coming out and we're rebuilding after the pandemic has at least lessened, but it's still so much uncertainty as to when it's going to end, fully end. This may be our new reality. Uh, Life as we know it, even though it might have had its bumps, it has changed. But as leaders, it's up for us to embrace the change, respond to the change, and not let ourselves get run over by the change. Because many times when change is occurring all around us, we get caught up in what we just see. We lose our faith and we don't really think in our minds about what could be. So, my second question after asking you, what do you see? My second question to you this evening or afternoon is, what are you counting? What are you counting? Are you counting your losses or are you counting your lessons? You should focus on your lessons. Your losses, they're valuable in that they teach us. They teach us how to shift the process, how to do things differently, but our losses should never derail us. And too many times as leaders, we let our losses derail us for a lifetime. We sometimes let that loss make us feel that success is not ours to grab. We sometimes let our losses replay over and over in our heads, and so we can't manifest our divine assignments. So some of you that have heard me speak to you before, I believe, and I've seen it, that everybody in the class of steel, everybody on the planet has a divine assignment. But when we get so caught up in counting the losses instead of counting the lessons, we're not able to manifest it. So my second question to you is, what are you counting? Are you counting the lessons? Or are you focused on the losses? Because you can't manifest your divine assignment. You can't lead. You can't transform. You will not be able to really manifest what is perhaps in your heart and your spirit if you're still stuck on calling that situation, that occurrence, or even yourself, calling yourself a failure. Failure is something we as humans have decided to classify our experiences. But I always say that when something doesn't work out the way you anticipated, that simply is telling you you need to change the process. Change the process. Look at the lesson, look at what worked, what didn't work, and then make the shift. Because what we are able to manifest in this life is really what we believe we deserve and what we believe that we can accomplish. And so many times, our belief systems are not our own. It could be someone told you in elementary, oh, you're so dumb, or you stutter, or you look a certain way. I was on a conference yesterday with the president of the John Maxwell team. And he talked about how he lived for probably about 50 years, always feeling that he was less than. You see, he shared that he stuttered when he was in school and the kids played with him and picked on him. And he started to believe it after they would call him dumb so many times. He started to claim that as his identity. And more, he fought with himself. He doubted his future. He didn't do well in school because he believed what they said. And it talked about so much how our belief systems, most of the time, they've come from someplace else. And we've heard it over and over and over and the replay. So then when we don't have a sense of self, we start believing it and say, well, maybe they're right. And he also shared that he grew up in a single parent family, just his mother, never really knew his father, had three brothers and a sister. They all did exceedingly well in their careers. One a pilot, was a PhD engineer, another doing quite well in business. But it was like, what was holding him back? What was holding him from really walking in his greatness? And he determined it was the mindset. It was the belief system. It was believing what he had heard over and over and over, and then saying, well, it has to be right. So we can't let our losses keep us from learning and keep us from really walking in our true destiny. So when you're thinking about what your role is, when you think about your ministry, when you think about your projects that you may be doing, when you think about what it is that you feel is your divine destiny, I ask you to think of this third question. I want you to think about, are you revolving in a circle, just repeating the same actions, the same activities, the same mindset over and over and over? Are you revolving in and out the same doors of disappointment, discouragement? Are you doing that? Or are you seeking to evolve? Are you revolving or are you evolving? When you look at our lives, we're always doing one or two things. We're revolving in a circle, repeating the same things over and over and over, or we evolve into something greater. We're evolving to having more impact. We're evolving and expanding our skills, our mindset, our beliefs, our faith. Those are questions you have to ask yourself, because too many of us get into this revolving circle, that we're just revolving out of that same door of disappointment and discouragement and disbelief. And that impacts our ability to really manifest who we're supposed to be. And so you can't let what labels somebody else put on you to keep you from knowing who you are and knowing what you can be. And so many times we do that. And that impacts our ability to lead, and it impacts our ability to really accomplish our aspirations and what we aspire to be. So my third challenge to you is a 3-step that all of us, as we are looking beyond COVID-19, we're looking to the future, we're looking to the impact. All of us need to refocus on your mission, refocus on your vision for your life, for your ministry, for your business, for your family, for your community. Refocus. Once you refocus and refocus on what can be, You know, we see things in pictures. What do you envision for yourself? What is the picture that you have for yourself as you refocus? Because when we think, things start as a thought, but then it goes to the picture that we have in our heads. What do you see? And so, what do you see your future to being? What do you see your tomorrow being? Refocus and refocus on what can be, not just limited on what you see right now, because your divine destiny is waiting for you, is waiting for you to catch up. And many times, because of the discouragement, we've allowed ourselves to be derailed. And so, destiny is waiting for you to show up. And they're wondering, destiny is wondering, well, when is he or she going to know who they are and believe who they can be and walk in their greatness and meet me? I'm standing here waiting for them to show up, but they are derailed on the side. So once you refocus, look at how you got to retool. What new skills do you need? What new information? What new partners do you need? You refocus, you retool, and then you rebuild. Because far too many of us are living a life that's not based on choices, not based on choices, but it's based on chance. And so you have to ask yourself, am I choosing what's happening to me in my life? Am I making choices? Am I making decisions? Or am I just letting things happen by chance? And we often hear people say, well, I'm just going with the flow. Well, sometimes going with the flow makes sense. But when you're thinking about your life, your mission, your vision, your ministry, your aspirations, going with the flow will not work. You have to be intentional and you have to be strategic and think about what it is you want to accomplish. Hope is indeed having an optimistic perspective every day. And hope is a powerful thing. And with hope, you can achieve much, but you have to put hope into action and take steps. And you have to ask yourself, am I hoping it's going to happen or am I going to make it happen? These are the questions you got to ponder. These are the things you have to think about as you walk in your greatness, as you really become the leader that you were destined to be. And one of the most difficult things as a leader is leading yourself. Before you can lead someone else, you really got to be able to lead yourself. And that is the most difficult challenge. So I charge all of you tonight in the class of Steel to think about, are you counting your lessons or are you focusing on your losses? Are you leaving your life to chance or are you making choices? Are you evolving or are you just revolving? These are the things that you as a leader have to ponder, because the more you're able to build and develop yourself, the more you're able to develop and invest in others. So I'll close with what I call my alphabet for manifesting greatness. And it starts like this. A indeed is for attitude. You have a choice about what kind of attitude you're going to have each and every day. Things can happen all around us. Things can happen to us. But we have a choice on the attitude that we take, on how we respond to those things and how we see each and every day. B is for belief. What is your belief system? What do you believe you deserve? What do you believe you can achieve? Our belief systems really can help us to soar, or they can keep us derailed by the wayside. What are you believing? C is for consciousness. What is your level of consciousness? Are you really making conscious choices, or indeed are you just letting things happen to you by chance? D is for determined. How determined are you to achieve your destiny? Our determination can take us so far if we just continue to take one step each and every day. Many times, because of the world we live in, we want things to happen like yesterday. And when they don't, we get frustrated, we want to give up. But if you've taken one step each and every day, you're making progress. You have to remember that each and every day. E is for effort. Taking effort to be conscious about your decisions and thinking about what it is that it's going to take to achieve the outcome that you want. F is for indeed faith. Faith is following an invisible trail home. Faith is you may not know how it's going to work out. You may not see the end, but you continue to walk. What are you visioning? Because if you walk with what you hope to achieve in your mind and you're walking with a sense of faith, and I've seen it happen so many times in my life. If you walk with the spirit of faith, it will come. It may not come on your time frame, but it's going to come right on time and for the season it's supposed to come. G is for gratitude. In this world we live in, we spend far too much time thinking about what we don't have. I don't have this. I don't have that. And we really fail to be grateful for the many blessings and the many things that we have in our lives. Walk around with a spirit of gratitude, because trust me, you may think you have it bad, and there's someone somewhere that is struggling in a greater measure than you could imagine. So walk with a spirit of gratitude. I say, walk with a spirit of gratitude. When you think about H is for hope. Indeed, you must have hope, because when you lose hope, you want to give up. When you lose hope, you really start to sit at what I call the pity party table, or you really embrace a spirit of hopelessness. When we don't have hope, we stop looking, we stop envisioning. Always walk with the spirit of hope. I is for integrity. You must always do everything with a spirit of integrity, because your integrity is your brand, and your integrity can either open doors for you wide, doors that you couldn't open for yourself, or your lack of integrity can shut them tightly in your face. Always, always do things with integrity. J is for joy. Find some joy in each and every day. K is for kindness. Kindness can never derail you. It can never put you on the wrong path. L is for learning. Be a continuous learner. Learn the lesson, practice the lesson, and then teach the lesson to someone else. M is for mercy. Be merciful. Be merciful to yourself. Be merciful to even those that may abuse you. Be merciful to them. You never have to lower yourself, your integrity, your mindset, just because someone else does. Always walk in your own spirit of excellence. Always walk with your brand, your values, your core values. Let them lead you. Always be merciful. N is for nobility. Always Be noble. Always walk to a higher level and never let your core values fade away. Always take the high road. Don't take the low road. Even if others do, no, never you. O is for opportunity. When opportunities present themselves to you, you got to be ready. And many times as leaders, when opportunities come our way, we're not ready because we have waited for all of the stars to line up, or we're waiting for the perfect moment. Um, there's no state of perfection. We can work toward it, but there is no state of perfection. There's always something you can improve on, but be ready for opportunity. P is for purpose, because if you don't have purpose in your life, you're lost. Purpose must drive your actions, your thoughts, each and every day, because purpose is what ignites us. It's what enables us to manifest our gifts and talents. Always have purpose. Q is for quest. Be on a quest for knowledge. Be on a quest to accomplish your divine destiny. Always be on a daily quest. R is for resiliency. Things happen to us each and every day, but it is, as I said, how you respond. If you get yourself up and you dust yourself off, it doesn't matter how many times you knock down, because in this life, there is no magic carpet ride, but it's in the getting up. It's in pulling ourselves up out of the valley. That is where our lessons come from. So be resilient. Remember, circumstances and situations, they do not define us. They reveal who we are. It really shows the test of who we are. S is for strength. Many times we don't even recognize our inner strengths. Many times when I ask people, what are your strengths? What are you good at? And people don't know. Or they sometimes think if they acknowledge what their strengths are, that they're bragging, but that's not. Your gifting is aligned with your strengths. And the more you know your strengths, the more you're able to manifest them in service to mankind, service to your ministry, service to the world. You got to know your strengths, because you need to know who to put on your team that can fulfill those areas that may not be your strength. You need a team, and everybody brings divine strengths. And when you combine all those strengths together, the power of the team is just infinite. But it's folks coming to the table, working with each other, and acknowledging the strengths and respecting the strengths of others. T is for time. 86,400 seconds. Everybody gets the same amount of time each and every day. 86,400 seconds. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing with your time? Because when the day is gone and the day is done, you can't get that time back. And so none of us have the time to waste. And so you have to ask yourself, am I using my time? And am I using my time in a positive way? Am I using it in a constructive manner? Am I using it for the greater good? Time, as they often say, waits for no man. What are you doing with your 86,400 seconds that you are given each and every day? U is for understanding. V is for your values. W is for wonderment. Never lose that childhood wonderment that we have. So many times as we become adults, we've had some hard knocks in life. We've had some setbacks. We've had some distractions and discouragement. And we lose that sense of wonderment that children have. You know, you often have seen your children or your grandchildren, and they may put on the cape and they think they can fly and they think they can soar because they have not bought in to that limited mindset. They believe everything is possible. Now, yeah, you have to get them down so they don't fall and hurt themselves, but they have that sense of wonderment. X is for X-ray, doing that internal introspection. Who am I? Who do I want to be? Who do I seek to impact? Doing that introspection, because the more you look inward and you do introspection and you know who you are, people can call you anything, they can say anything about you, but it doesn't bother you. They talked about Jesus. I mean, it becomes a point that it doesn't impact you because you know who you are. Where the hiccup comes from us, when you don't know who you are, you buy into, you accept those limits that people put on you. You accept that some people have stopped dreaming and believing, and then they look at you and say, how dare do you think you can accomplish that? But when you know who you are, when you have done that internal x-ray and you know what your spirit and your heart is, because we accomplish what's in our heart of hearts. You take your attitudes and you take your beliefs and what's in your innermost heart. And so if someone has impacted your innermost heart and you feel that I'm not good enough, I could never do this, I'm going to fail, I failed once before. If that is what you have allowed to color your heart, then it will be, because you will either sabotage yourself or you'll let others sabotage you, and you will not accomplish what really in the back of your mind you seek to accomplish. So I've given you up to X. So Y is yearn. Yearn for your divine destiny. Yearn for what is your calling. Yearn for those things that in those quiet moments is calling your name and it's calling you to really fulfill it. I remember personally for many, many years, something was calling my name. Destiny was calling my name to do something, to lead and serve in a different way. And I listened to friends and other people who were saying, you're a vice president, you're making great money. What are you talking about? There's something else for you to do. There's another divine assignment to do. And until I came into myself, until I decided to march to my own drum and be my true self, I would let fear keep me from stepping out there, until one day it just became so clear to me. And yes, those things that I wanted to do in those quiet moments, it would always surface back. And so all of you in this class, there's something that you know you're supposed to be doing yesterday, whether it's writing that book, doing something new with the ministry, whether it's your business. It is something that you know that you have put on the back burner for far too long. And I'm telling you, once you walk in purpose and you start to do it, the resources, the partners, everything that you need will show up. And I'm a testament to that. And then the last letter is walk in your purpose with zeal. Walk in purpose and know that you are doing what you should do, what you were designed to do, and divinely what you were charged to do. And as a leader, when you take those ingredients and put them together, you indeed become unstoppable. And you will learn from the lessons and your losses. You'll look at them, take the lesson from them, and you'll move forward. You'll be living by choice and not just by chance. And you will indeed become a leader of impact. And you will be able to transform lives transform people, and transform places. I see it, and many times people see greatness in you that you don't see in yourself. So walk in your own truth, know who you are, and know that leaders make mistakes. Yes, they do. But the power of being an impactful leader is telling the team, I got that wrong. I made a mistake. They have more respect for a leader that is transparent, that shows their humanity, and that allows them to see that humanity in you. When you are honest with people on your team, when you share with them, your struggles, your ups and downs, when you listen to the lessons, they have more respect for you, and you can share some of the most distressful news, and they may be upset with the news, but they will have a respect for you. So don't limit yourself. Make sure what you see is what can be. Don't be limited by what little small pot you seeing right here. Think about the garden. Think about the big garden, because the only limits on you and your ability to lead and your ability to achieve whatever's in your heart and your divine assignment is the limits that you put on yourself. Thank you so much for this time to share. Peace and blessings to everybody. And know that you are a leader of destiny, impactful leader, and that you can change your world and the world of others. Thank you so much.
Come on, let's celebrate Her Excellency Dr. Anita Davis-DeFoe. If you look inside of the chat, I shared with you all of the notes of what Her Excellency Dr. DeFoe just shared. While she was speaking, I was taking copious notes and making sure that you are able to receive those notes and be able to glean from them. Your Excellency, Dr. DeFoe, I love sitting at your feet. I do. I never see what I know that I might have shared. I see what I'm getting put into me that I can continue to sharpen and improve on. The most interesting thing about being mentors and leaders is that we will hear the same thing over and over again, a different way, a different mindset, a different understanding, a different perspective, a different way of looking at it. Why is that? Why do we keep listening to it all the time and never thinking that we've reached? Because you know what? Every time that you receive instruction, wisdom, guidance, tools of life, don't look at you're receiving the same thing. Look at where are you at this particular time that what you have just received can be of great value to you. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to celebrate my son Fabian. Fabian, I'm going to pick on you because you know me as a mentor more than a lot of these know me. You know, I push people and you've seen individuals that are in powerful places because of what you and I have done. You've seen it. But the interesting thing is this, Fabian, you've just driven in your car. And I'm going to use you as an example. You've just driven from point A to point B, and between point A and point B, you have added value to your existence. You've listened to something that adds value to you. You've heard things that you can appreciate are going to make you a better person. How many of us sit down in our houses and just watch TV? We don't have time for that. How many of us drive in our cars and don't know how to put on a John Maxwell tape, put on a Bible teacher, put on something that pertains to what you're doing that is going to impact you, that's going to stimulate you. Dr. DeFoe, like many of us, Bishop Wesley. Do you think a gentleman at the age of Bishop Wesley needs to be in a class of still sitting down listening to what he has practiced and done his whole life? But do you know why we do it? We do it because we see the value in ever sharpening our skills. We see the value of ever coming together. As powerful as you are, there is always someone more powerful. Oh my God, have you gotten that? As powerful as I might think I am, there is always somebody more powerful. Am I willing to accept that? Am I willing to appreciate that and sit and listen? Am I willing to accept that and appreciate that and sit and take copious notes when that person is speaking? I get more pleasure out of listening to great teachers than I get out of teaching sometimes. And I don't know, but Dr. DeFoe, I don't know if you're like me. I don't know. We Bishop, I don't know if you, Bishop, come on, you know what we're talking about. We get so much pleasure sitting and listening to great teachers. I have a book that was given to me by an 82-year-old brother and one of my mentors. He's 82 years old. And last night, he gave me a book. He gave me a book, Dr. DeFoe. I'm not even telling you what the book is, Dr. DeFoe, Bishop Wesley, or Jenny Shaheen. Neither am I going to tell it to Fabian, or none of you, because if I tell you the book, you guys are going to want to read it. And I'm not letting you read it before me. It's a book from way back then. Hey! I'm so excited to read this book, Dr. DeFoe. Dr. DeFoe, I'm going to give you some sneak previews, and I know you're going to want to read it. Why? Because we want to understand the greatest minds there are out there. What made them think? What made them think? What stimulated them? What excited them? How did Carnegie get to be where he is? How did Bill Gates build his empire? You could look at the negative and think about those things that the world is criticizing. But you need sometimes to look at those things that is causing him to expand and grow. What is the ideology that Jeff Bezos is becoming so great? Some of you might not even know who those people are. Mm-hmm. But if you are aspiring to be greater than you already are, don't put yourself in a box. Don't put yourself in a box. Fabian and all of my mentors will tell you, I say to them, don't ever me see you becoming like me. Don't be like me. Don't be like Dr. DeFoe. I don't want to be like Dr. DeFoe. I want to be Michael Steele. Mm-hmm. I want you to be Musa. I want you to be Doreen. I want you to be Daniel. I want you to be Fabian, the most powerful, whatever that is that defines you. I want Bishop Wesley has been to over 100 countries. Oh my goodness, but I want to tell you something. I want to get to know every country he's not been to and find an excuse to send him there. Or find an excuse. Come on, Bishop Wesley. That's what a great mentor does. He looks at what you have accomplished and achieved and think about, now, how can I make him be greater? Every single pastor should look at every member of his congregation and think, now Ricky's a great drummer. Are you going to kill Ricky as a drummer in church just on Sundays? Don't you have in your arsenal some drummers that are all over the world that you could call them and tell them, listen, I need a favor. Come on, somebody. A great mentor gets favor for you. Hey, come on, if you're with me, wave at me. I said a great mentor finds favors for you and opens opportunities for you. That's what a mentor does. I've got a little son or a daughter, and I want you to do me a favor. Do me a favor. Would you give him an opportunity? He's an aspiring lawyer. He's an aspiring barrister. He's an aspiring leader. He's good at finance. Call your best friend in a corporation and say, do me a favor. Hook him up for 6 months. Come on, somebody, are you hearing me? Stop sitting down and looking at yourself and thinking that you have reached and not recognizing that the reason why you passed through those doors is so that you could look back and say, oh, this would do Jeff good to pass through these doors too. That's what great mentors do. That's what great leaders do. That's what great teachers do. Stop moping and groping about the things that you've missed, the opportunities that have not been in your favor, and look at the good you got from it and see somebody that could benefit from being there and give them that grace. Give them that opportunity. Dr. DeFoe, I want to thank you so much. Because this one is gone viral, the A to Z. But here's the thing that I want to tell you in the class of steel. We are going to teach you, every single member. Dr. DeFoe has already agreed. All the members, we are going to be teaching you to the next level. We're not holding back anything from you. It's not going to be streamed live. We can't afford to stream it live. But all of our members in the coming weeks, Dr. DeFoe is going to do some training for you and some teaching for you. You don't want to miss the opportunity. And if you think you know it, and you don't want somebody to be teaching you any greater, then you've already missed the purpose of understanding. We are ever learning, ever growing, ever evolving to become greater. Dr. DeFoe, I welcome you in the class because I say to Jeannie, oh my goodness, I can't wait till you have your week and 2 weeks of training, Dr. DeFoe, because I'm just going to sit in the class and look at your face doing all the work. And I'm going to take notes. I'm not taking it as an opportunity to say, oh, good, Dr. DeFoe is doing class so I could rest. No. I'm taking it as an opportunity to sit at your feet, man, and to learn more and to sharpen my skills, because the class of steel, my goodness, if you all only know what we've got planned for you. You know, there's a verse of scripture that says, I have not seen, ear have not heard, neither have it entered the heart of man what God has in store for his people. How many of you know that verse? Come on, you're Christians in the house. Some of you know what I'm talking about. That's what a great mentor does. That's what a great teacher does. Sit down and look at you and smirk. Oh, you don't know what I got in store for you. Oh, you don't know what we're going to do for you. If you only could see. I'm going to wrap up. It's 12 minutes past 9 and I'm excited. Fabian, thank you for being here. On Monday, I'm going to tell some individuals in the class about you, some more, and I'm going to let you speak in the class on Monday if you are available on Monday or Wednesday next week. I'm going to let you speak to the class. So I want you to prepare, all right? I want you to prepare because I'm going to push you. And I'm also going to start pushing every single one of you that have been sitting looking at me. Don't think you're going to sit and look at me all the days. I'm going to start pushing on you because you need to start being able to show what you know. It's not about knowing what you know. You know, oh, no, I know what I know. No. It's also about being able to show what you know. It's also about being able to teach what you know. So a lot of you are going to go live. And by the way, whenever you're sharing, I am going to stream it live. Why? I'm going to put the pressure on you. Because I want the world to see what you have to offer. So you better prepare. And you better show up early. And you better set a good example. How many of you get what I'm saying? Don't think the class of steel is just a place where you just come and look pretty, dressed up nice, and you sit down. No. This is boot camp. This is boot camp for excellence. That's why if you see STWL and a capital E at the end, it's still with an E. And the E is for excellence. Remember that. That's why you see the capital E. E is for excellence. You're powerful. My God, Jenny tore up the class on Wednesday night. Oh my goodness. Jenny, you tore up the class. And you're going to tear it up some more. Bishop Wesley, your turn is coming. Bishop Wesley, you and I need to talk about your time schedule as well, because you gotta put some time in, Bishop Wesley. They gotta hear you. Daniel, get ready. I want you guys to understand we're going somewhere, and you are part of this family. This is not about me. This is about us. Us reaching greatness and doing great things together and letting the world see us. I don't want you sitting down and everybody looking at, oh, Bishop Steele is so great and all those people. No. It's not about following me. You're not following me. You're following your dream and your vision and your purpose. I'm just adding some instructions and guidelines and principles that can help you. Dr. DeFoe is just doing that as well. That's all we do. Stop looking at your mentors and people talking to you like, oh, you're just one of those followers. You're not a follower, you're a leader. That's the problem with a lot of leaders don't understand how to separate leaders or leadership from being a follower. You're not a follower when you sit in a leadership class or leadership training. You are a great leader. So don't be intimidated or offended about sitting in a class and think, oh, but I know more than him. And if I sit under him, I'm going to look stupid. No, you don't look stupid when you sit under somebody you think you know more than. You look humble. Come on, somebody, wave at me if you get what I'm saying. Oh, I can't bring my people to that audience, because if I bring my people to that audience, my people are going to think that I'm dumb. They're not going to really respect me, because they're going to say, how could you, is that what you're talking? Is that what you're bringing me to? Come on, listen to what we're going to say. They're going to see you as humble. They're going to see you as purpose-driven. They're going to see you as dedicated and committed. They're going to see you that you are one who knows that wisdom crieth in the lowliest places. And sometimes the reason why a lot of people don't get wisdom is because they're too big to go into those lowly places. Dr. DeFoe, if they know some of the people that are on our team and in our family, Dr. DeFoe, if we ever reveal how powerful those people are, Dr. DeFoe, if they ever knew how powerful some of those folks are that are in the class of Steele family, they would want to know, why do those people follow him? They're not following me. We're leaders binding together to build more leaders, greater. That's what happens. How many of you get what I'm saying? You don't sing in a choir for 20 years, Sunday in the choir meeting, raised there in the church for 20 years unending because you think that you're the greatest singer and you just want to be there to chill. No, you do it because like minds come together. You harmonize. You bring harmony to the world. How many of you are going with me in 2021 with a boom? How many of you are going with us? Come on. Don't let nobody tell you you're beyond anything or you're under anything. You are great. Don't let anybody look at you and call you a dumb follower. Never, ever, ever let anybody call you a follower. No. I'm not a follower. Trust me, Dr. DeFoe will tell you, I am not a follower. Dr. DeFoe ain't no follower. Don't think that. Wait a minute. Whoa. Let me let Dr. DeFoe say it herself, because I think she should represent herself. But I ain't no follower. Dr. DeFoe, if you a follower, represent yourself. But I don't know. Say what you're going to say on that point, Dr. DeFoe. Come on, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I am not a follower. I am a leader, and leaders continuously learn, leaders continuously improve. And the more you collaborate with like minds, the more information you know. Everybody, as I said, has a different strength. And the more you collaborate, the more you learn. I'll share with you in the class of steel. I spent the last 3 days at the foot of John Maxwell in his training, and I know a lot that John knows, and I know a lot that he has studied, but he also knows a lot that I don't know. And I spent 3 days. So it's always about continuous learning, and beyond God, nobody knows everything. And when you walk around with that mindset, and when you walk around, knowing that it's continuous learning, you can learn to impact you when you put your ego aside. Because see, when you let your ego lead the way for you, your ego will lead you astray. And so as a leader, you can never get so messed up into the ego and listen to the nonsense that the ego will tell you, because that will derail you. So no, sometimes even as a leader, you may follow, but not a follower in the true sense of the word. You may be in a team with someone else, and that just means you're not at the helm, but you are always a leader. And it begins with leading yourself and leading your life. And until you know who you are and lead yourself, you can't lead anybody. You can't lead somebody out of a paper bag. You got to know who you are. So no. But I just encourage, I'm excited. Everybody, I'm looking forward to learning from everybody that's in the classes still. That's what leaders do. You have that inner circle. You learn from each other. That's one of the laws of irrefutable leadership. The inner circle. Every leader needs a team. You need somebody you can bounce ideas off. So people have to just realize that, Dr. Steele, and be open to it. Let your mind absorb all of the knowledge, all the connections, all the partnerships. So I'm with you. I receive it and I learn from you.
I'm smiling because Dr. DeFoe, you talking about 3 days of training, and me and you just done finished 5 weeks of training and received 6 certificates for 5 weeks of training. Me, you just completed. Come on. 5 weeks of training, and we leave teaching others, and me and you were just in 5 weeks of training.
Exactly. It never stops, because just as we're on here gathered right now, there's some new information coming out as we speak. You can't even catch up. It's information that we're in the information and the knowledge age. And as a leader, leaders read, and leaders are excited about being with other leaders and learning other information. That, there's no shame in your game if you learn something from somebody else. That's the power. That's beautiful. They share something with you didn't know. That saves you the time for having to research it or what. You just expand on it. You got to open yourself up. It's more so about serving and giving. That's one of the things John Maxwell was talking about these last 2 days. And even when we had the 5-week training, it's always about serving. It's your mentality. And as if you are looking to serve people, or you trying to be served. And there's a big difference. When you're a servant leader, it's about giving and uplifting others. But when you're just trying to get somebody to serve you, that's a whole different thing. And that always ends up in a negative fashion. When you're just trying to be served and you're not really a servant leader and trying to uplift others, you'll get derailed every time. So you got to ask yourself, what am I seeing? What is my vision? Where am I, how am I looking at this thing? Because sometimes our mindset is what's derailing us more so than anything else. So I say, let's learn something each and every day. Let it flourish.
Dr. DeFoe, I'm so excited about the book. I'm going to send a copy of it to you and Bishop Wesley. And I'm going to send a copy of it to you guys because I'm so excited about it. I can't even read it by myself. I want some, Bishop Wesley. How is it for you, Bishop Wesley? Come on, talk to us. You're in class. Why are you in class?
I just, God bless you. Let me greet you, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, and the great job that you are doing. Certainly a blessing, and we so appreciate your leading the way as you are, and to all that have gathered in the class of steel, I greet you in the name that is above every name, and that is the name of Jesus. Let me apologize because I was having some issues with the internet. The device I was using, I actually changed devices. So my sincere apology. But I really appreciate our Dr. DeFoe. I very moved tonight and have definitely received. I couldn't help but think of what why Solomon said in the word declares this in Proverbs in the first chapter and the 5th verse, says that the wise will hear and increase their learning.
Yes.
And a person of understanding will acquire wise counsel and the skill to steer his course wisely. And steering the course, you're not steering it alone. We need help. We need input from others. No one has a lockbox on everything. And we have to understand this isn't to steer his course wisely and lead others to the truth. So we receive as leaders that we might impart and help others on their way. Direct them so they can be the great leaders they're to be and fulfill their purpose and their mandate. So I've been greatly blessed. Thank you, Dr. DeFoe. Greatly blessed tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Steele.
So thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Bishop Wesley. And please we acknowledge First Lady as well, First Lady Wesley. I want to acknowledge my wife in the class, and I want to honor all of you. Hear this. We have received knowledge so freely. Our travels, where we've been to, give us experience and knowledge. The jobs that we've done, the people that we've met. My God, Dr. DeFoe, I know so many billionaires that when they tell me that they're just a few billionaires, some people think they're just a few. I says, my God, and how comes I know so many of them? So many powerful people. But guess what? I know so many gangsters as well and persons that nobody think are important. Why? Because I'm ever learning, ever growing. And the things that we learn about others from the places we go are so different. Might be the same way, and it might accomplish the same thing, but they're so different. I'm going to bring a man by the name of Michael. I'm not going to call his second name for now because I don't want you to Google him yet. But Michael is a senior gentleman, and he's a lifelong learner with so much PhDs and degrees, so many that he cannot be hired. How many of you get what I just said? So many that because persons get paid according to their qualifications in some parts of the world, he can't be hired. He can't be employed. He has invested millions in studying PhDs to the highest levels. I'm going to bring him to the class. He's one of my personal friends, and he's an elderly gentleman, to the point where he had to spend a time just doing nothing to just process everything in his head. Because how many of you know you can keep taking in, and if you don't give out, it will cause you a problem? That's another class for another time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Michael Steele. Thank you so very much for being in the class this evening. I want to honor Her Excellency Dr. DeFoe for sharing with us. And I'm gonna ask the final closing thought to come from His Excellency Olukoya. Will you just wrap us up this evening? I'm riddling, wrap us up this evening. Your Excellency Olukoya this evening.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. Thank you very much also, Dr. Anita Davis-DeFoe, and all the excellencies in the house, Bishop Wesley, and everyone in the house. Sorry, I I am amazed, at the depth of knowledge that has been passed across to us this evening, and so many of them, we are seeing them in another light, particularly with the passion that Dr. Anita spoke. And I love the way you flowed from the first letter to the last letter. And I want to assure you that all that you've passed across to us this evening, we will put them into fruitful use. And I also want to encourage every one of us. I was telling my family this evening that I'm getting more excited, looking forward to the class of steel, you know, every time. In fact, I started preparing for this class since Wednesday. So, so and I look forward to the class, and really I'm richly blessed. And it was a surprise, that when I saw Dr. Defoe, that is the person to take us tonight. I got equally more excited. We are not wasting our time here. That's one thing I just want us to know. And only time will tell, at the end of the day, the impact that this will have, not just on us, but on the world. There are a lot of people that that have been, following the class of steel, that some of them I know them. They are just taking their time, but eventually I know they will fully come. Many are trying to get a lot of things off their hand so that they can give their best to the class of steel, particularly in terms of attendance and commitment. So, because many of them say, where do you get all these people from? Where do you get all this knowledge from? I say, just come to the class of steel and you will see. So a lot of people are trying to get some backlog off their shoulders so that they can free their hands and their time so that they can be part of class of steel. They a lot of people. And I know that all of us here that we are been attending the class of steel, honestly, I must salute us because I know everybody here are very busy people. And for you to be able to create this time, I mean, it's highly commendable. And it's an encouragement, not just to our mentor, but to many of us, you know. And honestly, we will not regret this decision to be part of the class of steel. So I look forward to Monday, and I want to also acknowledge the First Lady, Jenny. You are doing a great work. I was telling my wife, I just looked at the fun night, that the amount of work that went into that is a lot, but we just saw it happen within 2 hours. But I tried to look at it. I said, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. And honestly, sir, I salute you. Your commitment to the class of steel, pouring out your heart, passionate and everything, is highly commendable. So thank you very much. And I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Let's celebrate Olukoya, one of the greatest architects. Hear what I said? One of the best architects in Nigeria. He is so skilled and so fast. You will never believe how he can design what he designs. Olukoya, I've seen the orphanage. I just want you to know, I've seen the orphanage. You're laughing. I've seen the orphanage. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you want to know a powerful architect, he owns an architect firm, so it's not just him. So don't think you're seated talking to a one-man show. He's a great architect, and we're going to open branches all throughout Africa for him. First Lady Jeannie, if you're able to just say good night to everyone, and then we are going to close the class. Please say good night, First Lady Jeannie.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night to you, wonderful, beautiful faces. I'm always, always so happy to see you. So honored to be with you. And it's such a privilege, as always, to be in your presence. Thank you, Dr. Anita Davis-DeFoe, for your ever you are always, always so dynamic. You're always so empowering, enlightening. There's so many words that I can use to describe you. You're awesome and phenomenal lady, and I thank you for coming and shining your light for us in the class of steel. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate it, ma'am. We appreciate you. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bishop Wesley, for your words. Thank you, Your Excellency Jenny Trahane, for Wednesday. It was awesome. I still haven't I've gotten Dr. Anita Davis before added to what you shared on Wednesday. You have me still on a high for International Women's Week because it has turned into International Women's Week for us here in the class of steel. But I just want to thank everyone and continue to pour blessings out on you through us. And I love you all. God bless you, your families. Stay safe and be blessed as always.
And don't forget Fabian that had me on the phone for 2.5 hours.
Sorry, Fabian. Sorry, my dear. God blesses you. Thank you for coming. It's so good to see your face. I heard you, I'm hearing you all the time, but seeing your face now live, and it's beautiful. Well, not beautiful, handsome. But welcome, welcome, welcome. God bless you, my son.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency Jenny, come on, I can't leave without you saying just share your point, because at the end of the day, class is completed. But we're a family. Nobody finishes church and jump inside of their car and just drive home. How many of you get what I'm saying? The class of steel is a family that I'm sorry, Jenny, just share your thought, Jenny. Just add your value, Jenny.
Praise God. Thank you, Your Excellency. What a wonderful evening we've had together. It really has been inspirational, and I'm always a fan of John Maxwell, so any teaching I can get, I'll glean from that. Praise be to God. And I was really blessed about the whole aspect of hope in action, and the fact that we have a hope, and our hope and that God has a plan for us, and it's a plan to give us
Hannah, Jenny, you've gone quiet. Jenny, you've gone quiet. Jenny. Can everybody hear Jenny? No. Okay, Jenny, you've gone quiet. Jenny, you've gone quiet on us. We miss you. Jenny, we've missed you. You said amen. I see your lips saying amen, but we've missed you. Look and see what happened. Don't worry about it. It's technology. You're okay. If we were in a conference room, we would have heard you. But something happened, Jenny. Something happened. You touched something. Unmute yourself again and just try again. Don't worry. Hmm? Mm. Mm. Okay. No, we're not hearing you. It's okay. Call me on WhatsApp, Jenny. Call me. Just call me on WhatsApp and I'll put you on speaker. It's all right. We can fix those problems. It's all right. Just call me. I'm not going to allow any technology to intimidate me when somebody has something to speak. Come on, how many of you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow technology to miss your opportunity to speak. Just call me, Jenny, and I'll put you on speaker. Okay, you're on speaker. Go on.
Okay, praise God. I don't know what's wrong with my microphone. It was was working fine up until just now. The devil is a liar. Thank you. It's been a wonderful evening. I've thoroughly enjoyed the teaching. As I was saying earlier, I always value John Maxwell's teaching and mentorship, so I'm glad to be able to sit at the feet. And particularly hope in action is what really struck me. And I just needed to be reminded that God has a plan for me, and that His plan is to give me a future and a hope. And so that encouraged me this evening. Of course, the alphabet was phenomenal. I'm going to use that one of these days. Thank you for that excellent teaching.
Thank you so very much, Jenny. Jenny, we heard you. Come on, did we hear her? Did we hear her? Come on, somebody, you gotta improvise. Don't let anything stop your show and cause your show to be messed up. Figure out a way to make it work. Come on, Jenny.
Amen.
Come on, let's celebrate Her Excellency, Jenny. Thank you so very much for your contribution. Her Excellency, Jenny, go ahead. Go ahead, Jenny. You wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to apologize to Olukoya. I went so quickly just now, but I really needed to come back and say to you, thank you for your compliment. Thank you for your blessing. I heard you mention me when you spoke, and I didn't want to let it go as if I overlooked it, because I never overlook any of your blessings. Any person gives me, and I thank you so much for your blessing. I thank you for acknowledging me. God bless you. Please give your love and regards to your wife for me and to your family. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, darling. Daniel, Reverend Daniel, please just give your take. We're still live on social media, and I just want you to sound your voice to the discussion this evening.
Thank you very much, Bishop. And I also want to thank Dr. Anita for this wonderful presentation. I believe that every time we meet, God has something new for us. I am not going to recap everything, but one of the things that touched me tonight was, what do we count? Do we count our losses, or do we count our lessons? That taught me a lot of lessons, because sometimes we dwell on our losses and we miss every focus. And tonight, we have heard, and of course, I am holding it very tenaciously, that whatever happens, I should count on the positives. I should count on the lessons I have learned. Even from those losses, the Lord has something to teach. And thank you for this wonderful, how do I put it, the alphabets and all the words that follow. Those are also very, very educative. And by God's grace, I will go through it and know where I am feeling and know what I will do, even to pop it up. So when we count our lessons rather than our losses, we will be able to move to make an impact. That is very wonderful. I love being taught, obviously. And just as many contributors say here, we learn every day. And anyone that stops learning has actually decided to fail. So we learn every day. And I thank God for that. I do everything to learn one new thing every day. And tonight, I have learned much. So thank you very much. And I want to also greet our mentor, who has been very up and doing. I also thank God for his wife that has been behind her. And I thank God for each and every one of us, all the excellencies and everyone that is found in the class of steel. Thank you very much. My name is Reverend Dr. Daniel Sopo. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. And I want to ask Bishop Comfort Musa, seeing that everybody has spoken, I'll leave the last for best. And remember, class is already dismissed. We're just mingling in the churchyard. Dr. Comfort, out of Uganda, just share your thought briefly with us. Dr. Comfort, could you unmute yourself?
Praise the Lord. I greet you all, His Excellencies, and especially His Excellency Bishop Dr. here in the first week. It's a privilege always to be on the class of school. And this message shared by Excellency Dr. Anita Davisco has been very much received. There is a saying that I always say, that you can't do the same old thing and expect to get a new result. You can't do the same old thing you repeatedly and then receive a new result. You can't use the same system of approach or the same way you go about things and expect a new thing to turn out. It can never be. But when you change your style, you change the way you go about things, then you are expecting something new to pop up. Thank you so much, Excellency. You shared a great thought today, and I put in still time. How you flow through the A to Z was also marvelous. Actually, this is my first time of coming to read what actually you wrote today, or you imparted today. I always think of starting the A to Z and then write some things there. But this ones are also very, very good. May the Lord bless your heart, and we believe that day in and day out, as our other speaker said, when you learn something bit by bit and you put them together, at the end of the day, you are going to have a new person, a new. And I also believe that you don't have to put yourself in a box. You always have to dream and look at the thing in a different way. Recently, I was telling myself, God, there was a time when I was delivering my last baby. I passed on for some hours, and I came back to life by the grace of God. And around somewhere last year to this, I've been asking God, God, look at how old I have grown. And look at the day I passed on and I came back to life. Those who have passed on after I came back to life, I'm not much better than they. There must be a special, very, very special thing why you have preserved my life till today. And I asked that, Lord, let me see that new person, that new thing you want me to do. That is why you have preserved my life. And I think it is good because you should not always live in the way you have been for so many years. And then I think that all is well. There must be something in you that God wants to show to the entire world. You are to be a person that everybody is looking for. So I encourage everybody on the class of still, let us continue dreaming and planning and learning and sitting under a coach. You think that, oh, I'm too old to sit under somebody. No, no, no. Always learn from somebody. And age is a number. Age is a number. if you see, there's a saying in Ghanaian, one of the Ghanaian languages, if you want to be an old lady, you'll be an old lady. If you want to be an old man, you'll be an old man. So there's another city in the country, our capital said, Yome Began. Yomo Began, meaning old lady is not in Accra. You won't find an old lady in Accra. Actually, you can get an old lady by just after. I'll be 70 by the grace of God next year. And I believe even when I grow older than 70, I'll see myself as a young person. In that way, you'll be able to learn. If you always see yourself as a young person with abilities and a strategist, and then you learn more, and then you try to aspire to the high. You always say that the sky is the limit. No, the universe. Because I believe God wants something out there for me to do before I have something. And I believe you also have something to do for the entire world. God bless you all. Amen.
Thank you so very much. Come on, let's celebrate our wisdom saint. Did you hear what I just said? A wisdom saint. Wisdom saint meaning they're not as fiery and fast and energetic like me and you that are still younger. But hear this. Sit at their feet. Sit at their feet with humility and patience. Don't be rushed on your agenda to miss what your elders have to say to you. Don't be too rushed. Be patient. Be patient with them. And knowledge will fill your loins with wisdom that will take you further than they themselves have been. Thank you so very much, Mommy. We celebrate you, the wisdom saint among us. Musa, you're the last person to speak, and we have all waited for you. So come on, make it good. So I hope you saved the last for best. Come on, Musa, make it good.
Thank you, Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, and all your excellencies in the house. I'm so challenged greatly with the presence of our daddy, Dr. Daniel Saporu, Dr. Anita David, Dr. Bishop Comfort, and Dr. Wesley. These are our fathers, and seeing them in our midst, I'm challenged by your humility and your presence indeed in the class of Steve really added value to us. So in class of Steve, from every teaching that is taking place in the class of Steve. I'm so grateful indeed. All of you that have spoken, all
Okay. Musa, are you? Musa has gone. Again, technology challenges us. I'm going to Musa. Musa, unmute yourself. Go ahead. Musa, unmute yourself. Go ahead, Musa.
okay. Sorry, I had a network issue. I was trying to conclude by appreciating the fact that anytime I'm in the class of Steel, I'm being impacted by new knowledge, and there is no knowledge that is a waste. So to everyone that has spoken in the class of Steel in one way or the other, I've added something in my life. And whatever I will use it for, the class of Steel will always be a reference point where I gain some certain knowledge. activities. I love to be in the class of steel, and I pray that each and every one of us in the class of steel, and I come under these teachings.
All right. Go ahead, Moose.
So thank you very much, Your Excellency.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Musa. We wrestle with technology, and Dr. DeFoe, you and I, we're gonna have to plan some retreats. Yes, I want you to put some retreats on our agenda, Dr. DeFoe, because even though I have a tolerance for technology and the challenges, it is appreciated that this can be overwhelming. So I think that we are going to have to plan some retreats in the year, where we can go and have a week away and have retreats where we will bring all of our leaders together, and we will have just times of refreshing and times of fellowship and times of growing together. So Dr. DeFoe, let's put that on our radar and see how we can make that happen in spite of what's happening. If they can't come to us, we who are able to travel can go to them in Africa, on the continent, because I will not sit and allow our brothers on the other side, because of technology, to be deprived of the opportunity. If they're blocking them from coming to us, Dr. DeFoe, we will go to them. Bishop Wesley, if they're blocking them from coming to us, Bishop Wesley, Dr. DeFoe, all of us that are on this side, we will go to them. Fabian, if they're blocking others from getting the message, Africa and our brothers and sisters on that continent will not be deprived and miss the opportunity to receive. We will make it happen, one way or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Michael Steele. You were just in the class of Steele. Thank you so very much for being with us today. We love you, we appreciate you, and we celebrate you. And we're going to see you on Monday, same time in the United Kingdom, 8 p.m. London time. I don't know what time it is in your time zone, but check your time zone and match it up to the Greenwich Mean Time Zone, 8 p.m. London time. Some persons, it's 2 hours ahead of us, 3 hours ahead of us, and some it's behind us. But check your time zone, because we operate on the London time zone, GMT. I love you greatly. Fabian, thank you so very much for being with us. God bless you. Bishop Wesley, Dr. DeFoe, Musa, Daniel, Bishop Comfort, and First Lady. Good night to everybody. Good night and God bless you. Bye, everybody.